Okay, so the next thing we're going to do then is we're going to start using those power chords to create movement sequences. Okay? In this particular one, what I'm going to be doing is moving from 5 to 3 to 1. And then I'm going to go back to 3, and then I'm going to repeat the whole thing. So here's what it sounds like kind of put together at this point. And hopefully what you're noticing by this time is that there's a repeat in the rhythm going from 5 to 3, or A to G, and then back to F to G. Okay? So I'm just going... Okay? So you're visualizing where you want to go, and you're also thinking about the rhythm that you're playing. Okay? And you're noticing that these rhythms are repeating. Okay, when I move from A to G and F to G, I'm just repeating the same thing over and over and over. So again, always remember, as you're doing these patterns, what you're most concerned with is keeping your timing steady. Okay? The other thing about this particular pattern, like some of the other patterns that we've done, is that you're stopping the strings between the movements, which is a really tricky thing to do sometimes for people. So when I go... You see, I'm stopping the strings. I'm holding the strings quiet as I move to the next chord. Okay? That way it's silent when I'm moving. If I don't stop those strings, remember, you're going to get all these sounds. But if I stop those strings and lift, the most important thing to remember about distortion is its noise. That's really what it is. We have to learn how to control that distortion to make it sound tight and to make it sound good. So it isn't always the obvious things that we learn how to play. It's kind of the stuff between the lines that really makes things sound effective when you're trying to play these various chords and chord progressions. So sometimes I palm mute, sometimes I don't. In this case, I'm not palm muting at all. So I'm simply moving, but I'm stopping between those motions. If I decided to play without any stops, I could go... Which again is very effective. It sounds a little different, of course, but very effective. But in that case, we're going back to one of the exercises we did before, where we're trying to move back and forth with a timing motion. So when I go... Yes, I'm sliding, but I don't really want the listener to hear the slide. So I'm not going and getting that. I'm moving and strumming at the same time. So if I'm going... I can move the entire time. And I'm synchronizing the movements with my strum, where when I play this one, this hand has to drop, my right hand, my picking hand has to drop in between, stop those strings so I'm ready for the next movement. So there's a lot of synchronicity happening between the two hands. And so that's why all of these various exercises, it's important to try each one slowly and persistently. Keep doing them over and over and over and over, not only to develop the visualization and the movement, but the sound of each one, the sound of the movement, the actions, the actual physical movements. Think about how they feel and think about how, most importantly after that, they sound. A lot of times we can be doing something and we're thinking so hard about what we're doing that we're doing it successfully, but it doesn't necessarily sound the way we want it to sound. And the only way it's going to do that is if we're aware of what it actually sounds like. If you have means at home of recording, that's a great idea. If you've got just some sort of small recorder, a microphone or something where you can hook it up, listen to yourself play some of these exercises, and then go back and decide whether or not they sound as effective as you want them to sound. So that's what we're going to work on in this exercise, is the A to G, F to G, okay? And remembering that you're dropping that wrist down to keep it dead in between, okay? Some of the other exercises will emphasize the sliding and things like that, but in this particular one, you just want to lift. It's a right hand technique.